All right. I don't know if you actually listen to the podcast at all. You don't have to. I get it. It's the sound of my voice.
I
I
have
do.
listened to your podcast before.
Uh,
I have as well. I have as well.
Incoming transmission. Download complete.
Howdy, y'all. Welcome to the Bradcast Show, Last Action Tournament Report. Tonight we have Wes Summers, who plays first in tonight's tournament. He played a pretty cool team. I'm pretty sure I've seen the team before, or most of it. Uh, I'll be honest, I did not actually review people's teams tonight. I did the honor system. Uh, Wes, let's everybody find out what team you play tonight, and I'll also be one of the first people to find out.
Sure. So tonight I played a Amazonian theme team with uh, Double Flash, World's Finest, Low Dial, Batman, GL, Commissioner, Death Metal Wonder Woman, and Batman Jarro. And I put Yellow Lantern Ring on Batman Jarro, and I put the cloak on Charge Flash.
Makes sense. Real quick, did you send me your build sheet?
I did not.
How dare you?
I'm a
Oh,
loser.
better luck next time. But yeah, send it to me so I can actually use it when I post it later.
Sure.
That sounds like all great pieces. I don't think there's anything on there that isn't worth playing or not worth looking at. What about your sideline? Tarot cards, maps, objects, any standard objects?
So no standard objects. Although I should probably play 3 heavies while we still have heavies, just for extra stealth.
Yeah.
There will be some mystery cards on the team. There will be some terror cards on the team. I didn't play with any of them tonight.
It's just
Um,
a quick build kind of thing.
They were just very quick, sort of thrown together. Like I think, like I messaged you like 10 minutes before the tournament and said that I was going
Yeah.
to.
And then I had to build a team just as quickly.
Yep, and then I had to build a team. So, which is fine.
Yeah, that's people are always allowed to come by at the last minute. If you finally bite the bullet, or you get off work early, or your dog dies, you're welcome to come and play. Whatever happens.
But so I forgot. I also played the utility belt on World's Finest.
Makes
But
sense.
yeah, I the only sideline elements that I knew that I wanted on there were Scrappy and Batman, Chase Batman and Chase Scrappy. But I didn't play any mystery cards or any terror cards tonight.
Oh, Chase Batman has a sideline active thing?
World's Finest can bring him in. World's Finest.
That's right. Okay, that's cool. That's very cool. That's a very good Batman.
Which I don't think happened tonight. Nah, no one got World's Finest tonight.
Oh, interesting. Although I do like that other Batman, the superhero Batman,
Yeah,
better a
he's
low
really
dial.
good. He's really good, right? I just think he's a little. Is how many points is he?
60.
Oh, he is 60. Okay.
Yeah,
Maybe I should look at playing both of them
and
and have a choice.
he's a great support character versus the Chase Batman, which is mostly an attacker. But he could be support if you go low dial on the roll.
Yeah. The Steel Energy for the healing is sort of nice. That's an interesting thought.
Mm-hmm.
And
You
then his
got Perplexus on your team.
Outwit. Yeah, Empower, Outwit, Perplex is not nothing.
Yeah, I really like that Batman. I can't stop looking at him.
He's a sexy man, that Bruce Wayne.
It's got great keywords and goes with the mystery cards. So yeah, it's just really cool. Can you pick more than one Batman or only a Batman?
Yes, you can pick more than one Batman.
Yeah, I'd
To be on
put both on there.
to be on your sideline. And then what would happen is You just choose which one to bring out whenever you kill World's Finest,
Uh,
or whenever
it,
they.
it's not a Superman. You played, I'm assuming World's Finest at the lowest point value,
Right. So you have to choose either. I mean, there is technically low dial Superman for 50 points. Um,
but you're
I
still
don't
not playing.
see.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, I just don't see him being worth it. Right. Like I just don't see it being um, significant enough to matter.
Maybe if you need help for barrier, but I think you have plenty of help with barrier on that team.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, I have 2 rings, which is enough. And with the rules changes about to happen, the super strength on World's Finest is again enough. So I'm
yeah.
not super concerned about barrier. I don't think.
How much leadership do you have? Not that it really matters because you still have to roll.
I think 3, 2,
Yeah.
3, 3.
So,
Flash, Commissioner, Wonder Woman.
I mean, unless you just want to try to hit really hard, 11 for 4. Uh, I mean, he does fly. He does have hypersonic. So, I don't know. If you got room, you got and have a common Superman, sure, why not?
Yeah, the question is, would it be better than another mystery card, right?
Right, because you have those mystery cards. If you need to get that mystery card out next turn, you want that perplex. So, or you
Yeah.
want to be able to hit to get one of the mystery cards, or clear uh, to get that mystery card. So yeah, it's definitely has more utility. It's like that the the Iron Man and the She Venom for I forget who it is. You almost always are gonna pick the She Venom for the attack and the survivability, but sometimes Iron Man's okay. I don't know. But yeah, is there anything about this team that you would change, or do you like it as is, or uh, uh, just need more practice with it to score more points?
Definitely need more practice with it. Like I'm definitely getting my sea legs with it. I've sort of been toying it with it in my mind for a few days. Haven't really put it on the map a whole lot. Batman Jaro, I think is vastly underplayed right now, and I think that given the new support to Justice League and everything else, this could be his time.
It's also another figure I just can't stop looking at, but it just it's a little difficult. But with this particular build, he can come out and actually be useful mid game. That's always better than him coming up by himself. That's always the issue that he'll just die. But
Well, his synergy with Flash is pretty awesome.
yeah,
Um,
for sure.
because he gets that free attack, right? So sidestep with Flash, then move 7, place Batman. Then I can make a free attack with Batman if I find a square with hindering terrain.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's hard to ignore him. And I really can't think of a build where he just doesn't look like he doesn't belong. So it's really, yeah, he should always be in the conversation,
The
especially with so
ability
much safeguard at wit. Yeah,
the ability to get through protected and safeguard outwit is I think absolutely critical. Like you need to be able to get through the bullshit
hmm
somehow. And whether it's Leech, I've been trying to tell my locals this for a while now. And I thought that running full dial apocalypse for a little bit would sort of get the message home.
yeah.
But
I did that
you
tonight.
have to be you have to be able to sort of uh to just turn off their stuff, right? You have to be able to go, that's a nice power. Would be a shame if you didn't have it.
hmm
And Batman does that, Leech does that, Scarlet Witch, Agatha, Karnak. I call them nullifiers more or
Yeah,
less because they nullify powers. But you have to be able to sort of do that. There are too many characters in the game that have that ability. So if you're not building a team with one of those figures on it, why?
You
Why?
really need to be able to protect yourself from it. Like
Yeah,
really.
but how do you protect yourself against an AoE that just says anything within the 7x7 radius doesn't have powers?
Like a shitload of blocking, the right map, and not just blocking terrain, but body blockers, and play the game of sacrifice.
Which is not a which is
It's not ideal.
if if the solution to surviving that is giving up points,
Well, I didn't
that
say points. I said body blockers. Uh,
is
so that's
which
bystanders.
could probably do equate to points if they're in a rune marker.
Sure. Yeah, you're not just gonna throw a rune marker there just to where it won't matter. But I mean, sometimes you are forced in a situation that you didn't think you'd be in the first place. But yeah, I did the apocalypse thing because I didn't have a team ready for tonight, and I played against that Scarlet Witch game one, and the game is over in like 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah, something
Uh,
like that.
yeah, it's just over. Um, I really like your team. It's got a lot of good offense and defense, and
So
that's great
let me
synergy.
let me ask you a question. Do you think that the nullifiers, again, the Karnak, Scarlet Witch, Agatha, those type characters, do you think that's lazy game design or good game design?
I think it's good because you mentioned earlier it's just so necessary for all the protected and safeguarded whether they have it from a trait or yeah, a team ability or a power on the dial. There's just so many ways to protect yourself. Like I can't even list them all because it would just be it's way too many variables. And uh, right now, there's only a handful or two handfuls of nullifiers. You can really literally count them on both hands, and uh, really you only need to count them on one hand. But if you want to stretch and try something different, then yeah, two hands.
Yeah,
Uh,
because I think it's Beast, Karnak, Leech, Agatha, Scarlet Witch, Beast, Karnak, Leech,
Cosmo,
Agatha, Scarlet Witch, Cosmo, Batman.
yeah, and the Chase Velma, but Chase Velma is the trickiest one.
Yeah, Chase Velma. So we're up to about 8-ish.
Yeah,
But I will say to WizKids credit, a couple of things. Number one, by having these sort of 8-ish, 10-ish characters out there that have the ability to nullify powers like this, it gives them an opportunity to create the more complex figures, the more hard to kill figures like Apocalypse, right?
yeah,
Because if you didn't run into if Paul wasn't playing a Scarlet Witch tonight, right, and if I wasn't playing Jaro, uh, Apocalypse could be a whole problem,
Ooh,
right? He could have just
I remember. I remember what the last one is, and it's not a figure. It's an equipment. It's the Muramasa blade, and that one requires a hit. So that's even and
yeah, but that
one
only
through three.
turns off defense power specifically, right?
Yeah, which is what most OMAs need. Most of the hard to hit ones. They have super senses or mastermind or
Sure, that's fair.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
fair.
Well, you can't
But
get rid of super
again,
senses, but yeah, reducers and stuff.
having that equipable is pretty crazy.
Stop click.
Um,
Stop clicks is the big one.
Stop clicks is a big one. But I guess the point that I'm trying to make is that it allows them to create those more complex, harder to kill, more stuff going on characters that we love, right?
Yeah.
Like I personally have played Apocalypse a few times now at full, and I just it's absolutely fantastic. I played against Aaron Morgan uh, with Apocalypse, and he was playing his Latveria team that had Nimrods, and he had like 4 Nimrods on his, outside the game. He had Bastromold, he had Dooms, he had Flashes, and this, that, and the other. A very expensive, very well thought out, very good team, right? But it was satisfying to just phase up with Apocalypse and start punching people in the face, and then suddenly he begun to lose his damage output to the point where it didn't matter anymore. Because if you're getting a slugfest with Apocalypse, and you don't have a way to get through his stuff, you can lose your damage output so fast with a
No.
character that's hitting you for 6 or 5 or whatever it is, right?
Yeah. And there's pseudo nullifiers if they're adjacent or if they're in range, you can't use a certain power, or maybe you can roll critical hits to get out of the evade traits and stuff, evasion stuff.
Oh, Rogue from Hellfire Gala.
Oh, I missed out, so I don't know what she does, but I'm guessing she's another nullifier of
If
sorts.
X-Men rolls a double 5, she could turn off any power on a hit character.
Okay, that's cool. Maybe that's something worth looking at for swap. If you playing against a certain character, or a character becomes prevalent enough to always have her in your pocket. Yeah, it's not the worst. It's something, and that's, like I said, that's what people need. You need to have answers, because otherwise, that was the whole conversation. Was Scarlet Witch and these power nullifiers enough to stop Apocalypse? And yeah, it is.
Yeah, it
uh,
is. It is. Yeah,
uh,
it is.
I mean, this thing out of roll, but it's, I talked to a gentleman last week, Randy, and I played against him. I think maybe I watched it. I believe I just watched it, but he had 21 defense or 22 defense on his Green Lantern Batman. It's like, that's not good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want rollouts. You don't want high defenses. Most people can get to 15 and 16 attack.
Well,
Uh,
but I mean, I either way, if you blink Batman, you've blinked Batman,
yeah.
right? So it's like,
Also, people
well,
just get roll high, get lucky, and then Batman's just
well,
gone.
you got to assume your opponent has probs and perplexes and everything that
Right.
goes along with that, so they can get to where they need to get to hit you.
Yeah.
But I think we're getting away from your format a little bit, my friend.
Yeah. I'm sorry. It's just it's always so fun to dig down the rabbit hole with you. But I'm warning a little bit here. If something like this goes on a little bit long, then we just shorten the other part of it. That's what we'll have to do. You just have to give me the best highlight or the worst moment in the game. But you went 3-0, so I don't think there might have been a worst moment for you in the game. But maybe you can surprise me with that one. Uh, s-
Okay,
so
so
uh, uh,
my
the next
first
one.
my first round,
What's that? Well, before we
I
get to
said my
that,
first.
is there anything about the team that you would change? Anything that you would add besides the obvious tarot cards and mystery
Yeah,
cards and sideline?
Terror and mystery cards, I still got to experiment with just a little bit more to figure out the right combination. But as far as like main force figures, I
Yeah,
think I think it's pretty much set. Because like, what are you going to take off? Wonder Woman? No. Either of the Flashes? No. Batman Jaro? No. World's Finest? No.
yeah,
Maybe Commissioner? But I don't know how you find a better 25 points for the keyword than Commissioner. So,
yeah. No, it's themed, unthemed. It's you could no, it's just hard. It always feels wrong to take them off to put something else there. But yeah, all right. Well, that answers my question. So yeah, let's get into your games then. Round one, you played against a whole person. Uh,
it was
who,
Andrew, right? Was that his name?
let's see, you played Andrew. No, you played. No, I messed up. But yeah, I believe you played Andrew. Let's go to pairings real quick. Round
Andrew
one,
W, right? What's
Andrew
his
versus
name?
Wiss. Yeah,
Yeah.
correct.
He played Lex Luthor Joker at full. Um,
Yeah, I
and
thought that was a
uh,
pretty interesting thing.
pretty interesting team. Pretty good team. Uh, I was able to respond to his alpha. I think he missed his first attack. His second attack, he hit Wonder Woman to stop. And he'd gotten Hangman, so that put his worlds because of the Mystics from Wonder Woman. It put his Lex Luthor Joker on click 3. Um, and then I was able to flurry with Wonder Woman after a pair of outwits
Mm.
to kill uh, the Lex Luthor Joker duo. Um, and because the area in which we played in was so crowded with like figures and stuff, he wasn't able to generate both Lex and Joker because it wasn't like legal squares. And it's a May, so he had to pick one or the other, which was a little bit unfortunate because I think if he could have generated both, he might have been able to do something a little bit more.
Mm.
But I think I ended up killing Lex Luthor Joker and most of the rest of the team. The maggot, like there was a maggot, there was a Flash, and I think I killed his peeper on last action. But yeah, it was interesting to see the full dial Lex Joker duo. They're good. I just don't know that they're good enough.
At full, yeah, that's tough. Anything more than 60, 50 points, they gotta be doing a lot. You gotta have good survivability. Uh, and it's really not there with the survivability. It does do a lot, but not the survivability thing. Uh, so yeah, you won that game. What, 270 to 0? It looks like he wasn't able to chip away at anything meaningful to score points, unfortunately for him. But
Yeah.
that's how you decide the team, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
At round 2, you played against Huckleberry Cote, otherwise known as Paul Cote.
Paul Cote. Scary match
Sure.
because of the switch. Um, I think that he was experimenting a little bit with Echo tonight, um, but he came over with his Sicarian and quaked only my world's finest in Flash. He killed my Flash, um, and then he sent over Echo to try to punch my Commissioner and my Batman Jaro, and he just completely
Oh,
he didn't
you
change
cut out there. He completely, I'm assuming he's a whiffed.
whiffed. Yeah, he just completely whiffed the attack. Um, and attack his uh, world's finest, not his world's finest, but his Sicarian 3 times with my world's finest. Once for free, once for power, well, once for just normal punch, excuse me, and then once a power action from Commissioner to make world's finest attack again,
Cool trick there.
um, which was enough to kill his Sicarian. So after that, I was able to go kill his Hope, and he wasn't able to score anything else. I did get switched to last click, but time was called at the beginning of his turn, and he might have been able to score enough points to get ahead. But like he would have had to hit like a lot in order for that to happen.
I mean, yeah, all it takes is that one lucky hit. Uh, yeah, that I love close games, especially when it's against two really great players that are also great builders. So it's always cool to see if you guys were able to, I don't know, guess the meta, as Scott would say, Scott Crampton. But it's a funny thing about when you're trying to guess the meta with players that are building their teams against the meta. I don't know if that came into play with y'all's match, but I wish I could have watched it to find out. Did
We'll
you
see.
guys try to outthink each other, or did it actually come to play or matter at all with the way you built your team against his team, or his team
I
versus your
think
team?
it was more or less my team just stood still while he ran his team into my team. Um, because again, I think he was just largely experimenting with Echo and stuff. Just
Yeah, he wanted
he's,
to try it out.
dude, we're both doing the same thing. Paul and I think similarly a lot about our approaches in tournament preparation and stuff. We're just testing the meta. We're poking and prodding and seeing what's out there and trying to figure out, where we think that we fit. Um, and that's what we both were doing, and that's fine.
Yeah, it's super important to try new things out. Whether it works or not is something entirely different. Again, you can play whatever you want. Just be aware of the matchups that you can lose to. And so round 3, you played against a whole nother person, another good player, Jackson Smith. The score on this one doesn't feel as close as the second one.
Yeah, he flung out his world's finest to kill my rookie, which I think was probably a mistake to risk like 175 points for a 0-point figure, right?
Yeah.
I understand he did it at the end of the day, but I also just like
Was that the
I
only play? Silence. Absolute silence. There. Oh, wait.
Brad, can you hear me?
Yep, there you are.
All right, I'm sorry.
Very good.
What was your question?
Was that the only play, or was Ricky so threatening that he had to?
Well, it was his turn too. So he won map. He just wiggled a little bit, got some tokens on people. I went in a corner and barriered, but I generate my rookie. And then he moved up most of his support to like not quite middle, but almost middle. And then flung out World's Finest to go kill my rookie. Which was an interesting decision because I don't think that rookie was worth sacrificing his 175-point figure for.
Sure.
Because then I was able to sort of begin barriering in his World's Finest, and he really didn't have a way to get out because the stop sign took away improved movement.
Yeah, that's the problem with tempos and OMAs,
Yeah,
especially in today's meta. You can get
you
buried
gotta
early.
have a solution for things like that if you're going to play a figure like that. You have to have another way of getting through the barrier, dealing with the stuff.
I learned that with Unimind
Unfortunately,
back in the day. You had to have phasing on your sideline, or else you're just stuck there.
unfortunately, he didn't have the solution, right? So I was able to sort of lock down his World's Finest, and then just go kill the rest of his team.
Yep. That's support today is so much better than support was 5 years ago or 10 years ago. They're good survivability. Maybe they can make good secondary or tertiary attackers. But if you go all in on trying to make your tempo work, they've had to fucking survive.
Well, it survived, but
Well, no,
realistically,
his tempo had to survive.
realistically, a figure like that, like World's Finest, is point denial,
Yeah.
right? And if you build one half of your team as point denial, and then the other half of it is just scoreable, you better be sure that half that is point denial is capable of scoring its points,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah,
And
Thanos.
unfortunately, World's Finest was not. His World's Finest made one attack and scored 0 points. No, two attacks because I did position poorly and let him get a shot on my commissioner. That was unnecessary and it was just a mistake. But he did score my commissioner.
Well, I mean, the, that's a pretty good sacrifice.
Yeah, no, I'll take the trade any day of the week, right?
Yeah. Well, is there anything that you learned from these games that the team excelled at you didn't think would come up or didn't see coming, or just that everything kind of worked out the way that you thought it would for the most part?
So 3 figures on the team are 2 clicks long. But I was impressed about how durable the team was overall. Because like with Batman Jar there with World's Finest, people didn't necessarily make Flash the priority. I guess they wanted to go after some of these other guys because they wanted to get rid of the Nullifier in Batman Jar, or they wanted to get rid of the Tank in World's Finest, and so they sort of allowed Flash to just sort of do his thing, allowed Batman to sort of do his thing. Yeah, which surprised me that World's Finest and Batman Jar were able to take that much heat off of Flash.
It's the rollout. If they don't have an answer to the rollout, does he have an 18 defense or a 19 defense? The charge one?
The charge one has an 18 super senses.
Yeah. And I'm assuming sometimes you probably copied the Wonder Woman team ability for him.
I did more than once,
Yeah,
but
so
he spent a lot of time with the Green Lantern TA though.
yeah. But yeah, it's just it always makes you feel bad when they get that rollout. It might be why he went after the rookie. I don't know.
50-50 senses is a thing.
Yep. That's why rollouts are better than high stats. It doesn't really matter what it is. If they can just get that 1 in 6 chance, 2 in 6 chance, or whatever, it's still better than them almost guaranteeing to hit with whatever 14, 15 attack to your 21, 22 defense with 5 props. They're gonna hit. It's just, can you roll out?
Can you mitigate it? Yeah, I agree. I agree.
That's always tough to see. You see stats on your team, and you just think it's not going to happen. They're not going to hit my 22s. They're not going to bust my stealth. They're not going to outwit my combat reflexes or defend or energy shield deflection. But there's a shitload of outwit. There's a lot of ways to turn off powers. Stats really don't mean jack squat. So thank you for coming out tonight. I hope you had a lot of fun. We usually don't get to see you participate, but you're usually here to listen and see what people are doing, which I think that's crucial, that people should pay a little bit of attention if they would like to participate in competitive or see if something is worth buying. If you can't play it, then see how it works.
Absolutely. Like digging in and figuring out what's going on in the meta. You have to be at least be watching. If you're not watching, you're playing. If you're not doing either, then you're going to be caught flat-footed because the meta is changing, because the game is changing. So you have to sort of, in a month from now, we're going to be taking our knowledge of the existing meta, right, and merging it with all these different rules changes that are happening. Map sizes and power changes, rain changes, everything's changing, right? And it's good. I think it's positive things for the game.
Yeah, I think
But
it's a
as
positive,
meta,
but it hurts in a couple of different ways. Not just the negative, it's blah 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 blah, but just trying to remember new stuff and forgetting about old stuff just hurts my brain. Yeah, but I think it's great overall. I think it's positive, and I think that's something that we need to do to keep growing the game, because the game isn't done. We don't have a complete. There's more stuff to be worked on to make the game, I don't know, completely accessible and quick and easy for players to pick up and play, and not spend an hour and a half in one game for whatever reason.
yeah. Well, and I think the goal, they're trying to make it quicker, faster, and not lose its appeal to the competitive scene. I think they're heading down the right path. I hope that they are.
Well, that's the thing for me that I've noticed is that most competitive players, and when I say most, I'm talking like 90% competitive players, just adapt to whatever rules. It doesn't matter how difficult, how stupid, how easy you want to make it. Competitive players that want to compete and travel for WKOs, rock states, nationals, or worlds you give it a day's notice, and they will spend at least 5 minutes thinking about how to adapt for tomorrow's tournament. Uh, just that's how the brain works. And we're trying. The competitive people are trying to help the people that don't play competitive because we've all seen it in games that aren't 300 points modern. Eventually, something happens that is completely broken, or just not just a figure, but the way the mechanics work. Like barrier, I think barrier is a huge problem. Uh, I think a couple other things are a huge problem. Free actions. I think free actions are getting a little out of hand. They're so meaningful now to just do so much free stuff. Autonomous, I think, is kind of going away for the most part. I think they're being more responsible about that one. But my biggest gripe, I don't know how you're gonna feel about it. It's the Green Lantern team ability, and and I've felt that way for about 4 years, so it's not nothing new for me. It's just getting worse for each DC set. Uh, and everything that you can synergize with it. But yeah, it should be uncopyable. It should. I mean, it just should. It's it's so.
I understand. I understand the desire to make it uncopyable,
I
and I could feel that.
I get the what's the word that players like to use? The thematic, is that what it is? It feels
Hmm.
thematic for people to just become a Green Lantern and then do all that fun stuff that Green Lanterns do. But carrying 8 people across the map with, I don't know, super rare flash, uh, and then carrying people all the way back to your starting area is dumb. That was
Well,
it, and so yeah,
with the changes that were announced today, that's going to get easier, not harder.
yeah.
Um,
Uh,
so like everybody's going to be able to do it now, right? Because like a lockjaw, if it's a 16 by 16 square map, you place him out. He's a peanut base, so he starts in row one, goes to row two, and then moves 14 squares
yeah, boom, he's there.
uh, to literally row 16
Yeah,
by
he's there. The
himself
squad's there,
without
and whatever that
perplexes.
squad brings.
Can now just touch the end of the map. Um, so meh
There's going to be some
about the
growing
Green
pains
Lantern
until
TO.
we can get away from the current meta and what they're dropping the current meta into with these new rules updates, which is good, but man, it's going to be rough for the next 3 years.
It's going to be really really rough. If you choose yourself to go first, and then because they did something about like if you roll to go first, or you roll for first player, you could choose to either go first or pick map. You can't do both. That's a pretty significant change.
I love
And
that change, by the way. I think that's probably the best change they've done in the last 4 years.
I also love it. I think it's a good change. I think it's going to be very very hard to uh, calculate and to take that into account.
Yeah, playtesters can only do so much. That's what.
Because I would totally have a 16 by 16 square map on my map list just to say, huh, you want to go first? You want to go first, really?
Yeah. And also, I would want to have a 2 by 3 map, 16 by 24 map on my sideline. You really want me to pick map? Yeah. All right, let's do it. So, and that's another whole interesting dynamic is uh, how you build a team to go on the 16 by 16 or 16 by 24. And I don't think some teams can handle both. A lot of the top teams can, but they're gonna excel at the 16 by 16 versus the 16 by 24. So it's really not mitigating too much. And that's if you even choose the correct map to put them on.
Yeah.
Uh,
To be honest, if anything changes on this team, like if I end up playing a lot of 16 by 16 maps. I just might drop TK Flash for something else. I don't know. We'll see.
Oh, yeah, you could do so much with 30 points. Was that TK Flash equipped too?
No, TK Flash are
Okay.
not equipped.
Well, maybe you might change one of your equipments as well to whatever this 30 points is. So
Yeah.
that means a lot. It means a whole lot. Maybe you play Commissioner Raffle or something, or World's Finest at a higher point value. Yeah, but that feels good.
I mean, it does, but it doesn't.
Well, I don't know
Right?
what the die looks like, but
because he doesn't have that special defense on any of his other dials.
Gotcha. So maybe not.
He does get his rollout, which would apply to the vast majority of figures at 100. But I don't know that it's worth it.
Maybe it gives you more options for the sideline thing. I don't know. Something to think about.
Yeah, maybe. Plastic Man, maybe.
Oh, Plastic Man. He's just the best. All right.
You can't forget about Plastic Man.
No, cannot forget about Plastic Man. Well, thank you, Wes, for talking with us. I hope you had a good time tonight. And hope you get to come out sooner than later. Just so you know, in case you forgot or I haven't told you, I have a tournament coming up on February 25th on Saturday. That will be free. Whether you've played before or you've never played before, it's free to play, free to enter, free pricing, and free shipping. You just gotta show up and play for the whole tournament, which, by the way, will not be Swiss and Top Cut. It'll just be Swiss. So, uh,
So what are you going to do if there are like multiple people who finish undefeated with perfect scores?
Oh man, you guys get to roll off.
Roll off?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah. So if you all do great, you go 4-0 with 1,200 points, all of you get to roll off. And then we get to play Red Robin to see if you guys to see who comes out on top, and not just the top one, but anybody else who happens to go 3-1 or 4-2. Depends on how many people show up for the day, but regardless of a number of people that play, whether it's 4 or 20, the pricing will be the same. And it's a lot of stuff. It's a case of Spider-Man, the Brick of Spider-Man, Scott Porter video, play at home kits.
But the next Spider-Man set?
Yeah, Amazing Spider-Man or Beyond Amazing.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna pre-order a case of this and a brick of that and some other stuff, and it'll get shipped to you. You have a brand new stuff to open when it gets released.
Fascinating. All right. Fair enough.
And meta stuff and rarity stuff and silver stuff if you want it. It's yours. And I think I might just put $5 cash in there somewhere. But I will at least, if the pricing that I have listed, I will guarantee that the bottom half will get to at least draft 2 items. Whatever I got to do, I got to throw in cash, I got to buy more boosters, whatever I got to do, I'll make sure the bottom half feels like they got something good.
Well, that's great. That sounds like a good event, Brad.
The idea is to get people to try out online. I like talking with you guys, I like playing with you and seeing all the games that you do, but I want to see more people. People like free stuff, so hopefully this works.
Hope it does too.
All right. Well, we will see you later. Say goodnight, Wes, or see you later, whichever you want to do.
Have a good night, guys.
Oh shit! Get the fuck out of here! What are you doing? Go! Get the fuck out of here, you stupid idiot! Fuck, we're all dead! Get the fuck out!